Hey guys, it's Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley from the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast that you're listening to right now.
Your favorite account. I know. It's the greatest thing in the whole world.
A lot of you have been asking what you can do to help the podcast out, and seriously, all we want is a review.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a 5-star review, but if not, be fair, at least a 4.
We know you're listening. Like I said, we see the numbers. We're all over the world. Like I said, it's just we see it. We appreciate everyone listening. Help us get a little higher up there. Help us get more new
Helps
listeners.
with the algorithms. People can help find us out, and it really does help. So if you can go to Apple, iTunes, that's where a lot of you are already listening, or wherever you're listening.
Spotify, Apple, all of these different things. They're all out.
Wherever you listen, give us you don't even have to write a review, just give us 5 stars. If you want to give us a review, that's cool too. We appreciate it, and keep listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
It is the greatest time of the week. Deathpiles and Taxes coming at you hard and strong today.
Adam, I'm glad you're here. I needed to contact you about your car's warranty.
Oh, I was going to let you know that did you need a new website domain?
I've been trying to call you and get a hold of you for weeks. Just don't pick up the phone no more.
We're here to get you any capital. Do you need any capital money? I swear, I get like 12 Ponzi scheme calls every single week. Right?
Well, they need to start sending me some residuals or some sort of a reference check if that's who's referring it. If they're getting through to you.
If I take the call. No, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about your scam calls. We're here to talk about making money, and especially right now paying taxes. Because if you're on next week's schedule, I think that's the whole deal. Leroy's been putting it off because that's what you do when you owe the big bucks.
Now my problem's on last week's schedule, and this daylight savings thing is just it's messing that.
Can I tell you that's the worst thing in the world? Like, my body was finally good. Like, I got up at 6:15. I didn't need an alarm clock. Like, I was
start feeling good.
I was rearing, ready to go. If the sun was coming up, and then this whole goofiness happened, and now I'm old.
I'm team just leave it alone. I don't care. I prefer this one, but if it's the fall behind, just leave it alone.
Leave it be. Let's
just let it do it. So no, but eBay sells, like you're saying, tax time. People are getting their checks are coming through.
You're supposed to call it a stimmy.
Well, there's a stimmy coming through,
Not
but then there's also
a stimmy.
Well, don't be giving me no stiffies, Adam. You can laugh in the microphone too. Last week you about busted a gut, and it's just silence. I have to edit through because you're biting your lip, and you won't let the people know that sometimes you find me funny.
That's true. Yeah. So, anyways, people are getting their stimulus money, and they're spending it on stupid stuff. Please go to the Double Comma Llama store. Go buy some more cards. I just shipped out $250 of Jordans last night, so I'm in a good mood.
Adam's feeling good. I've been selling my wrestling cards, and not only that, I've been buying. I'm finding some undervalued things. I'm getting ready. I sent off my PSA membership officially ended yesterday. I got one last shipment out. I was able to get some of our Mickey Mantle cards for me and our buddy Painter. And now I'm looking. I'm a free agent. We got the real Adam West coming in here in a little bit, and he's got some ideas for us. So I might be changing teams. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, you're in free agency, just like your boy old Jamal Williams. He's trying out the free agency.
Hey, you can't blame it if you can get something a little more effective, or you can make you a little more money. You gotta do what you gotta do.
More money, more problems. I have boxes of cards that need to be listed.
Maybe what you can do is while people are getting their taxes done, you can say, "Hey, can you take a couple pictures of this while I'm putting in your information here?" And I mean,
121 cards are sitting here in my office, and tell you what, I am pretty excited. I've got some good stuff. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say anything like that. I really hope I'm sitting on at least 10,000 plus. I'm really hoping closer to 15. I really feel like that's in the ballpark, as the kids say.
It's not going to do it. It's just sitting in a box in your desk. That's the problem. That's why the people are listening to us.
I know, but I think, what do you think about a mystery box?
I was trying to do a mystery envelope to you last week, and it didn't go, which made me think I haven't opened that yet. So if you want my mystery returned envelope, it is a sports card, guaranteed a sports card, and it's guaranteed to be up to $20 in value. If you give us a 5-star review and write, I want the mystery envelope, and send me the screenshot,
Oh boy.
the first one to do that I receive,
Wow.
I'll send that your way.
Wow. I don't even know what's in that card.
It's definitely sold on eBay. It wasn't a return or anything.
Wow.
And the post office messed up, and I just gave the guy his money back. I was going to relist it, but I thought, you know what? Well, we'll send it out to one of our listeners. So there you go.
Well, see, and then that becomes like the whole idea of, cracking boxes. That's what everybody talks about. Do you open it now? Here's the thing is you're still in on the ground level. This is the new podcast. We've been doing it for 2 years. Every day we're getting more and more people know us about. You can hold on to that. Don't open it up. And in 2 years when Joe Rogan's hitting us to be on his podcast, I mean,
Who
you
knows?
might go flip that.
There, because it was addressed. You'll have my personal address too. So if you ever want to just Google Maps and see where I live,
Right next to Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz.
if you want to drive over and see where I live, if you want to bring me a pizza and pretend like I bought it, I'll be like, I didn't pay for this, and you'll be like, yeah, it said it was coming to your house. I'll be like, we don't even have this pizza joint in town, and then we can laugh and share a pie together.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Pie Day. I don't know, Adam. I guess not yesterday, but a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like we have been in on the ground level, like the kids like to say. Just like apparently, like I said, he brought some strong. We got a special guest at the end of the second hour.
Second hour.
Well, second.
How long are you gonna have me sitting here?
Segment.
The people just somebody just swerved into oncoming traffic out of that shock of 2 hours. They were down for a little bit, but 2 hours could be a bit much of us.
I'll be honest. I'm ready to go home.
It's been a long day.
I'm spent. The tank is on empty. I'm ready to.
Everyone that's been calling up and get their taxes done by Adam, he appreciates it, but at this point, he's
the tax gods don't love all of these good things that are happening to people. Like, do you know who has to figure it out? Me. Everything that is now happening, all of this new stuff.
make it work.
There's one guy that
You're
has
like
to
that.
figure it out.
You're like that kid that understands technology in an old folks' home where they're like, "Make my thing work. Just figure this out. Get it going.
Here, give me this.
Make it work. I need to call my son."
What do you mean I'm getting stimulus money? Why isn't it here now? What do you mean I don't have to pay taxes on my unemployment? You mean my health insurance is going down? Can't you take care of that too? I guess. These are all things.
All good problems to have.
They just happened Friday. We knew that they were in the pipeline, so I've kind of been letting people know. Like, I already have people email me saying, hey, now that bill went through, can you file my taxes? I'm like, no, like, they haven't even given us the form yet.
Yeah, it's still a mess. The IRS is always kind of that way. The last few years, anyways, right?
We are praying for the extension deadline. Please make it happen, because if it does, that is going to be the party day for me.
I'm coming in under the gun. I got my paperwork somewhat in order, so I'm going to come visit you here in about a week. But speaking of Friday, you know where I was at Friday?
Yeah, you were at the card show, and you should have been selling cards for all of us, making money.
Adam had a family member that passed away,
My Nana.
so he couldn't make it to the card show. We were going to set up a table. Mr. Painter had some other stuff come up, so I thought, well,
Officer?
something like that. I can't. You know, I'm a good friend, and I don't share secrets like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were gonna get a couple tables. We were gonna set up. I didn't want to be solo guy there, hanging out for a couple days by myself. So I went as a customer, met up with a friend of the show, the Legend.
Yeah.
We went over there, and man, I went through it pretty fast the first. I was amazed at the things that were there for where we're at, where we're located. I was to a card show with Mr. Painter a couple weeks earlier. It was a good card show, but this we had. I mean, there was Jordan rookie cards. There was the top. I mean, there was just so much stuff. There was graded cards. There was your PSA cards. There was your Pokemon cards. There was everything.
A lot of stuff.
A whole store in the mall was just crammed full, and the mall was busy, which doesn't happen much anymore. Most of it was action of that card show. Luckily, I did have the Legend there with me, because we went through everything, and he was doing the deep dive. He was listening to Deathpiles and Taxes, and knows that if you want to find the treasure, you got to look a little deeper.
You got to hit it.
So I kind of made my rounds, and he was going through these cards. So I said, well, why not? And so I found me a Ricky Henderson card. I found me some good stuff. Anyways, went to the guy to purchase, and I thought I might have to haggle a little bit. And the Legend just got through, and I think the guy charged him like $20 or something for what he had. 4 or 5 cards. And he looks at my stack, and I had a little.
You had some stuff.
I had a little. It was a stack. There was Alex Rodriguez, who's banned from our show, but I had his rookie card in there. I had
Shame on
that second year Ricky Henderson card. Had some other good. I had some good cards in there. A lot of Juan Soto's. You know, me and him go way back. And the guy looks at me and goes, "How about $10?" I said, "That credit card machine's still warm," and handed him my card. What? Meanwhile, the legend's like, "Wait, what? What? You're getting that hit for $10?" I think the guy was about ready to call it a night or whatever. And then we were leaving, and there's this other guy, and there's a lot of people in there that I'd seen at Phil's shop and stuff before,
Oh,
just
sure.
people I knew. And,
Yeah.
But anyways, I got talking with this guy, and he had these Jeter rookie cards, and he was selling them for $20 a pop. I mean, they were in good condition. They were raw, but they were in good condition. So unless he just made them, I think I'm doing pretty good. I sent them off to PSA and already. And
Is he the same guy that we met up with in the parking lot at Cabela's?
you know, if he was, he got his life together and he found some, some strength. So if it was that same guy, good on him.
Well, see, and this is why he's only second. Second favorite Brian. He missed you, probably.
Yeah, he sent me a text and. We just must have just almost crossed. He said, "Is it worth coming down?" I said, "Yeah, you got to get down, send some stuff." And there's some stuff. Some people were definitely asking some high prices and knowing what they had, but there were some gems to be found. What do you call that? Hidden in the rough or whatever. Some diamonds in the rough, if you will.
Yes.
So I just missed second favorite Brian. He's climbing up on that list. He might be 1.5 favorite Brian. I don't know.
1.5.
I need to check in with the original Brian. Maybe I have original Brian and new Brian. That doesn't sound as bad.
No, that's not.
Because they're good guys, but yeah, just
That's
missed.
like Pelican and OP.
Yeah. He said he was taking his boy down. I got Painter to make a swing over, and he got some stuff, so it was good, man.
And it's always a good time. It's like those. Honestly, like we talk about making money, but you're making memories too. I mean, I'm doing some of this stuff with my kids, and it's fun. And don't get me wrong. Like we put in money in this. Like this is more than a hobby. A hobby is you might spend $100, buying some cards. I've spent more than that.
But you're selling as well, and that's the business side of this.
That's the business. And
the online retailer.
And hence the reason why I'm able to write all this stuff off of my taxes, because it is a business. I believe that's how you refer to it. But you have to pay taxes, and that's one of the things. And I know we talked about it, but it just jostled me again. People are ticked off because now there's new requirements for online sellers that you have to report your money that you sell online.
You got now that we got a new president, you got to declare taxes on money that you made in your life.
Uncle Joey's ruining my life.
I told you, Grandpa Joe. I go back and listen to Grandpa Joe. I'm not saying I don't know if he's in the candy factory or not.
Wow. All I'm saying is you're gonna have to file your taxes. You just do. Like, don't sneak around it. Just do it.
What's the hot tax tip, Adam? I know we're gonna get into cards again with anytime we bring in a guest that's named Adam, it's gonna be good.
That's just a good name.
But what's a good tax? I mean, you've been talking to people, you've been seeing things. What's a sleeper that people need to be aware of, or
Right
good story
now,
or something?
and that is the problem. Like, I've turned into this conglomerate, jack of all trades, because now I have to know about so many things to do your taxes, which is why it's always important. If you're doing a business return and a personal return, do it all in the same place. So that way your accountant can kind of give you a broader vision and tell you what you should or should not write off. A lot of times with the businesses, like, we have to get our income below a certain threshold, because if they're on health insurance, if they're on the Obamacare, the marketplace, they can only make so much money. But, hot tip, allegedly, I haven't seen the final writing yet, but I've seen it all over online, and if it's online, it's got to be true. If you had to pay back
That's what my uncles think.
any kind of the stimulus, or any kind of the not stimulus, the subsidy payment on your 1095A, you will not have to pay it back. So potentially, there's a lot of people that already filed their tax returns, not even knowing that this was going to be part of the new thing, that they'll be able to amend their returns and get back, like, not $200-300, but up to like $2,600 because of this one new thing. So if you have Obamacare health insurance, if you have marketplace insurance, and have already filed your taxes, look and see if you had to pay back any of that subsidy. And if you did, you're not going to have to. And going forward for 21 and 22, your rates will decrease. So this next upcoming week, reach out to whoever your insurance provider is, and insurance rates will go down.
Look at the Affordable Care Act. There you go.
One.
So, Adam, can I tell you a heartbreak that I had this week?
Yes.
As you know, during the holiday season, I was a bit of a miser. Some might even have called me a Scrooge. And I was selling video game consoles for above market value.
Yes, Mr. Skillbag.
So the other day I went to, I had to go to the doctor before work. I had a little physical thing I had to work out. So I took off a few hours before work. On my way back to work, I wasn't in a hurry to get there because you get there, you know that you have some things that you have to do that if you're not there, they're going to take care of for you. Because at the end of the day, I know what my job is, and I know about the amount of time that I can get it done if I have to. And so I was swinging by. I was looking for cards, and I was looking for a few action figures, and I happened upon a Target, and I was walking, and I see somebody with a cart, one of their carts full of PlayStation 5s.
Oh no.
Which are still impossible to get. So everyone back there in December that said Santa's just going to leave a note and my kid will get it in the spring or whenever they come out, your kid's still waiting because you still can't get these things, right?
All right.
So this was a grocery cart full of these game systems, and they were pushing it back to the employee only where they do like
You followed her.
where they do the employee only, like where they pick you have to come pick up and they bring it out to your car, orders, that new magic door they have now.
So there's a reason that you went online and bought an employee card that says, I'm Derek.
I should have. I so wish I should have. I'm contemplating if it would have been worth getting arrested for or not, still to this point. So I do. I turn around like a puppy that saw, somebody with a steak, and I'm like, ma'am, and she's, and I mean, it's like, it's not early, but it's in the morning. It's random. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Not a lot of people there. And she kind of looks, and she's actually went back, and I'm kind of following her back behind the employees only. I said, hey, are any of those available for sale, or what's the deal with those? And she goes, well, you're gonna have to go talk to electronics, see what we got in stock or what's taken for or whatever. And right then I thought, well, what I should do is wait for her to walk off. And I should go grab like two and go self-check and get on out of here.
Great idea.
But I thought, well, no, you don't want to have your face up in the Target saying this boy is not allowed to come in here, this guy's not allowed to buy from us anymore. Or maybe that's considered shoplifting. I don't know, because it was behind the employees only, and it's the online order kind of thing.
Okay.
So I don't want to go to jail and be able to. I don't have to call work and be like, yeah, that doctor's appointment. Well, it's over, but I'm in jail because this is my one phone call. Because guess where I'm at? I'm in jail.
You ever heard of a prison wallet?
So, check for my ID. So I go back to the electronics, right? And there's no one to be found.
Obviously.
And they got a little button to push, and the button's not working. So I'm hitting the button, and then I kind of tear apart the thing to make sure it's connected. It's not. Put it back together, still not working. So I go find somebody else. I'm like, hey, is there anyone over here in electronics? Because you have to be nice, because you're trying to smooth.
Yeah.
You're trying to do something that they're not going to let you do. And they get somebody, and this guy comes back, and he's like, oh, yeah. And I said, well, I talked to this lady, pushed the cart. They have the PlayStation 5s. I was wondering if there's any stock or if I could get any of them. They said, come talk to you.
Don't know what you're talking about, son.
Yeah, you're going to have to do all that online. We don't go to any of the store. I said, but I saw it. There was a cart. I saw the cart. It's in the store. I can show you right where it's at. I just want one. Is it possible for, what you have to do is you have to go to Target.com or get the app, Cartwheel. And if you go, and if they're available, you select them, and then you have to come pick them up, but we can't sell them in store, but we can sell them online only. I said, so you don't know if there's any in the back, and if there isn't any in the back, you can go grab it and sell it to me right now, and I'll just leave the store. I'd have to go online and see if there's availability. You can go and check and see if there's any in stock on that pallet where these 5 came off of, and what you have to do is you have to go online. And so there I am in Target. I'm walking. I'm a little disgruntled with this. I think, how stupid have we gotten? Like, I'm here with money I want to pay, and it's like that, I'll gladly pay for a hamburger Tuesday that I can have today mentality. It's going corporate. So I'm like, I got the app. I'm trying to look it up in the store. The Wi-Fi's not the best. I'm standing in front of the children's books. There's a bunch of children's books. I know I went off on the Seuss the other day and told you, leave them alone. But they're trying to sell all the Seusses they can now.
Oh, of course.
They're out there. And then there's children's books about we all fart and butts, and just sitting there. So I'm sitting there like a weird guy on my phone in front of the children's farting book section trying to find out. And I'm thinking, what? That ain't going to work. And I can't get it to work. I can't find any. There's none. And so basically, I saw probably about $10,000 worth of PlayStation 5s, and I couldn't get one. And I just left it. I'm like, well, I'm miserable now. Okay, I can go to work.
I'm going to work.
I'm going to work.
Well, that was our derailed but derailed.
No, that was a resell. I got a derail rant. That wasn't even derailed. That was real life of a reseller.
That was real life reselling, huh? Well,
I'll save it.
Well, that's kind of what happens. Like I said, you get that chance, and I know it does kind of sound weird. But that's a lot of times the mentality that we've got into is just keep it simple. Like I'm going to tell you something. I've been reading. Oh,
we might got some action.
the boys across the street are getting ready.
And Batman's getting ready to come in the studio.
He's going to get the first star introduction here. Oh, here we go. Get ready.
No, they're not. There it is. Stabby part of spacing.
Coming in with a hot take.
Hot take. There you go. What are you gonna tell me?
Oh,
They're going out. They're
we
having
are
time.
right across the street from the fire department.
If you've listened for any amount of time, you know
good
this.
men and women here, they take care of so many things. They keep us all
The good
safe.
part about this is we got an alibi for whatever fire, whatever's happening right now.
It's true.
Here we are.
And we times it like that. You can't. The sound drop that D-Roy has tried, can't do it. That's the real.
I've tried to sound drop it out and you can't do it.
Okay, that's the real.
Or I can't do it. Somebody can.
Now going back to what I was going to say, it was so important. It was so life breaking that I needed to help me remember what I was going to say.
I was going off. We're brick and mortar. I was at the Target.
Oh well.
And you can't buy things in the store no more. You have to go online. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can't do it. Just buy it all online now.
And then come buy it from me.
Yeah, go to the eBay stores and see what you can get. See if you can make your money happen. So, no, like I said, it's that tax time. Get ready. If you haven't filed it, stimulus money will be coming. So if you're listening to this, people have already gotten it.
Why do you get a check this time?
No prepaid debit card.
I hate that.
So that's how you know, because
Hate
D-Roy doesn't get refunds. He always owes. So like they don't have his bank account on file, because why would he, let them electronically take it out of his account? So if they don't have your account on file, they can't electronically put money in.
Everybody that loves the government and trusts them with their bank accounts, think about that. Go tell your uncle on Facebook that he has the government has his bank account information.
I know. It's like they just put it in there, means they can just take it out just as quick.
Yep.
It's a good thing I don't have a lot in there. I have all my money in Dogecoin.
Well, Adam, let's get to our interview. I think it was a good one.
Yeah, like I said,
Good information out there.
great information. Like I said, good stuff. You make it a good week. Like I said, it is getting closer. Get your taxes filed if you haven't. Spend something good with that stimmy money. Well, it's taxes of death piles and taxes. It is that time of year. We're going to have to do something. Uncle Sam wants his money.
Who doesn't want their money?
Well, he's got a lot of it, but we all got to put it in the system. That's the country we live in. So, you need to file your taxes. Got questions? You want to know more because you're a reseller. It is a little more difficult than it is, especially if it's your first year. You're getting into it. You're going to get these 1099Ks. You get information that you don't know what to do with, and we don't want you to pay any more than you have to. So, reach out to us here at Adam Up Accounting. You can go to our website. You can check us out on social media. We'd love to help you out. Like I said, we know the resale game. We're here to make sure that you pay your fair share, but don't go back to jail.
Adam, our friends over at Sellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the Death Piles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed, because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Sellhound, use promo code, capital letters, DeathPiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money.
All right, welcome into Death Piles and Taxes. I think the Riddler and the Joker got together, but we got a very patient Adam West with us. Adam, welcome into the show, and thanks for your patience tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I like to start off, man. Thank you guys for allowing me to come on the show tonight, and real grateful for that. And yeah, but you guys got to stop telling people that I'm Batman. I don't want nobody else to know.
And we had to destroy the tapes, but apparently Adam in here accounting's mom was visiting the Batcave. You guys are like brothers, card collectors, or something like that. I don't know.
We are, but I told you that you cannot talk about that online. Like that's family secrets, man. Family secret.
I always knew that. I felt like there was more of me out in the world, and I think I just found it because we kind of grew up in the same kind of childhood. My mom tried to get me to read, and I hated it. But for some reason, I had like that itch, and I was too young to gamble. But I really, really like sports cards and Beckett's. And it sounds like you were kind of coming from that same cloth, right, Adam?
Yeah, totally, man. Also, I didn't like to read. My mom was like, look, I got to try something to get this kid to read. So she used to give me, Beckett, Tough Stuff. I used to actually sit there and read those. And I used to remember like all the prices, all the card sets. And this was third and fourth grade.
Oh,
yeah. So, then I used to go get on the school bus and, trade kids their cards. You know how it was back in the day. Like you'd be on a school bus and you have a book full of cards, and kids used to bring in their brother's cards, their grandpa cards, their dad's cards, and end up trading them. So I wouldn't, like I said, I would know the prices, and I'm be like, okay, look, hey, I give you this one Barry Sanders, I give you these 5 Barry Sanders cards for that one Emmitt Smith. It looks like a good deal, but really, like I told you, the prices of the cards.
So were you smart enough to know that the grandpa's cards and the dad's cards were worth more than your cards? All right, so this is the $1 million question. I'm crossing my fingers, but when did you decide to make this more of a business than a hobby? How did you know there was some money in this?
I would say probably around high school. When I was younger, my mom and dad used to go to different stores and malls and everything. And it was this guy. He had a little corner where he sold cards, autographs, and stuff like that. So in middle school, I used to go over there. He used to show me pretty much, what to look for when you're getting cards for long term, what to look for when you want to get cards just to flip them or trade them. And over time, we kept a relationship. So every time I would go to the city, I would always stop by, buy a couple packs of cards from him. And he had just opened up his own store by the time I was in high school. So he used to get athletes to come in, do autograph signings in the store, in the mall. And it kind of like took off from there. I was like, tell me more about the autographs. And then he was just, showing me the ins and outs, what COAs, what companies that you should get, what companies you should stay away from. And, and then I got a couple of autographs and I put them online and sold them to, people I knew in the neighborhood and stuff. And right then I knew like, hey, there's some money, in sports stuff. So that's probably really when it clicked in high school.
So you're out east, aren't you? Where are you at, Adam? And who is your team? Who is your guy growing up?
I'm from Virginia. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm just trapped around Redskin fans. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. But 90s baby, so that comes along with the Super Bowls and everything like that. But
so the trip was the Aikman, the Irving and Smith. That was right up your alley.
Yep, right there. Yeah, yep. You throw in that big offensive line. You can't forget about that.
You're in trouble now. I don't know that you're brothers because Adam was a 49ers kid that time, so you might have some rivalry.
Those were the best games. Those were the absolute the NFC championships between San Francisco and Dallas in the early 90s. They were always the games you wanted to watch for.
You guys got lucky that one time because I felt like that was pass interference on Deion on Michael Irvin, But that was, as a Cowboy fan, that was like one of the worst things that like ever could have happened. Like us going to Candlestick Park. And there's nothing but mud everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my God, we might not make it out this time.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's the hard part. I mean, the Cowboys, like I think the last time they were good, like Derek had a full head of hair, and I might have been a $110 soaking wet. So that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been long suffering. We're in Utah. We're Jazz fans, so we feel the pain.
Oh man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of good teams, man. And, of course, growing up in the 90s and, you kind of, you got to pick your basketball team. So which superstar you want to go with? And, of course, for me, it was Michael Jordan. So, I'm sorry, but a couple years in a row, that you guys couldn't it came down to the last shot, came down to a couple big plays. So I know there's some pain there for you guys.
I learned something real fast. Like back then, I was still kind of heart crushed about it. Yeah, right now I'd love for the Jazz to win. But I just sold $250 worth of Michael Jordan cards last night, so I'm pretty happy that he was the guy that he was.
Right on.
Yeah, it comes around every time we sell some of his stuff. We just feel a little more bendified, a little more justified, and maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all.
I know that's right.
So you got the bracket filled out? You ready for March Madness?
I haven't been paying that much attention to it this year. But I'm right down the road from Charlottesville, so of course UVA fan. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to take it this year. What do you guys think?
Man, I went heavy on Gonzaga. Every time I pick them, they're out about the second or third round, so expect an early exit for Gonzaga. But I was going to ask you about UVA. That was going to be my sleeper. I didn't know if they were good or not this year.
Started off kind of rocky, but, we got the boat, going back in the right direction. So it's just, I don't think – I'm just going to ride with my team. I'm going to say we're going to win it all because
don't they all have
we're going to win it
right now?
What was that?
I said, don't they all have COVID right now?
Look, COVID or no COVID, it doesn't matter because I'll go down the road and I'll suit up and hit a couple threes from the corner maybe. I don't know.
Hey, you're 36. You still got a couple of years of eligibility left. Just throw you in the ball, man.
Yeah, I'll probably last like 2 laps up and down the court and it's over.
Yeah, that'd be me. They won't D you up on COVID though, so I guess you get some open looks.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us about your store, InvestNCards, and how that got started. It was kind of during COVID and all that, right?
Yeah, right before COVID. I pretty much used to just sell stuff on eBay, Facebook, market groups, and stuff like that, like individually. And right when COVID hit, I said, hey, you know what? Let me start a new eBay store. And so I just named InvestNCards, and I just got back into cards because I was out of cards for probably about like 2 years. And then I just, started going to Walmart every night, buying packs of Optic and Prism and everything. And I was getting some nice pulls out of there. So then I was like, you know what? Let me make a new eBay store. Let me make a new Instagram. And I had, and my cousin, he also, he's a collector too, and a friend of mine. And we all used to do our own separate thing. And right when COVID hit, we was like, hey, you know what? That's actually all start selling and doing everything under one company name. And so we did it for, because it's been a stressful time for everybody out here. And, we just wanted to do something fun, try to get back into the hobby together, collect, talk about it, sell some cars, sports memorabilia together. And it kind of just took off from there.
Now, I'm looking on your store right now. You got some pretty cool stuff, man. I'm a big Pete Rose guy. So you got some Kobe's, some Kevin Durant's. Like, what's your favorite card that you have or that you've ever sold or anything like that?
I would say my favorite card, not the most expensive card, but my favorite all-time card is probably the Kobe Bryant EX Stardate. The reason why I got this card, it was like $78. And, I was looking at, the pack pulls, how hard it was to get the card. And I was telling my cousin about it. I was like, hey, man, this is a really, really underrated Kobe rookie card. And, he was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, I'm telling you, man, like, if the market ever get hot, like, this card probably going to blow because, it has the whole cosmic effect and everything. And the green EX Kobe was always a nice Kobe rookie card. And that card actually like caught fire, and PSA 9 was going for around $15,000 recently, probably about last month.
How much did you say?
I paid like $75 to $78 for it, but a PSA 9 was selling for like 15,000 last
That's
month.
more than my truck.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's by far probably like my favorite all-time card, just because it was a story behind it. It wasn't something like, I just got and it was like, hey, I kind of looked into it. I actually thought that if a Kobe card really caught fire, other than a Topps Chrome, it probably would be that card at some point. And just for it to actually catch fire was kind of cool.
So when you're looking at cards or you're buying raw cards, what are you looking for? What are some of the tips that you were learning growing up that we can give some of the listeners to? Because everyone knows you can go buy a base rookie, but like you're saying with this, add the cosmic effect. What are some things that little tricks of the trade for people to be looking at if they're looking to invest in cards for making money down the road?
I would say just do a little research. Like, you don't have to spend days and days doing research. Just look at your pop reports on cards that you may like. Like if you see a card that's like if you see a Kevin Durant card that you don't see a lot of, like, don't second guess yourself. Like, go look at it on the pop report, PSA, BGS, and go and see how many there are graded out there in the world, because usually a lot of these cards blow up because there are not that many of those cards graded. And I would say I've made mistakes in the past by not collecting the things that I like. Right, you a lot of times it's so easy for a newcomer in a hobby to just turn on YouTube or just look at TV, and you just get caught up in buying the hot card. And sometimes it's just as easy as looking online, finding something that you like. Another good tip I would say is, if say if it's a Topps Chrome card and it's really hot, it's selling at a ridiculous price. So you kind of play off of that. So what would be the next type of card that's similar to that? So you would probably go Bowman Chrome. And usually that's when you can find like really, really good steals and really good deals. Like, you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for the card that's hot. Just get a card that's similar to that. Kind of like with the Kobe Stardate card that I was just talking about. There's another card too. It's called it's a Kobe Stargazing, and it kind of has the same similar cosmic effect and imaging on it. And that card right there has already, like, I think they sell raw for around maybe like $600. And I think somebody has one listed on eBay right now, BGS 85 for like $3,000. Yeah. So, and that's a card I went and got. I picked up two of those right when the star date got out of control. I said, you know what? Let me look and see what type of cards are out there that's similar to that card.
So you're finding ones that are kind of hot, that are not hot. They're hot, and kind of maybe find something close to it that isn't quite as expensive that is going to go up, because as that value goes up, it's going to kind of bring the similar card up in value too.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. So it sounds like to me because you and Derek met on the internet. You guys kind of had a showdown at the Golden Corral. Is that how we call it?
I didn't know it was your card, man. So here's what happened on my end is there's a couple grading companies out there, and we're real big on PSA, and so this guy's showing his card, and I'm telling him about how this ugly green label is, and I just don't think it's going to have a value, and so on and so forth. It turns out I'm dogging on our buddy Adam West here. So apologize for that. I hope that card went for a lot of money. But let's talk grading and cards, and yeah, what's SGA convince us that the PSA isn't the place to send our cards to?
Well, I don't want to get into the I don't want to bash PSA, but I also want I want the card community to keep growing and for us to enjoy the hobby as long as we can. And I don't think just if you have a card that's long term, it's you can send it to PSA because you're planning on holding that for a very long time. But as you know, if you're in the game as far as trying to get some money back immediately, or like 1 month, 2 months, or even 3 months, that's probably not the route that you want to go, because your cards will end up sitting out there in PSA probably about 8 to 12 months. Like, we don't know. They're that backlog right now. There are a lot of other companies you can go with. I know BGS is kind of backed up right now. SGC, they actually came to the rescue last year, and they got backed up, and they didn't make. I feel like they didn't make the proper adjustments, because I actually sent off, I think it was 20 cards, and I didn't get my order back. Oh wow! I think I paid for the fastest shipping possible. I don't remember what it was, but I ended up getting it back like almost 3 months later. I know you have GMA out there, but there's a sleeping giant out there that nobody's talking about. I know HGA is out there too. They have wonderful labels, color matching, but CSG is a company that I'm really eyeing and looking at. I actually sent off quite a bit of cards to them already.
So why CSG? Is it just the time that it takes, or help me better understand, because I'm still new to this. I'm looking them up right now. It's the first time I've ever even heard of them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just point out a couple things. A lot of people, I don't know if you're familiar with comic books, but CGC, the comic book grading company, they're by far the -- comic book grading company in the world. They're actually underneath the same umbrella. You also have CAG. They actually do documents and photos, and then you have NGC, which is the coin and money grading company, and they're one of the best in the world at that. And then you got ASG, they do stamps, and they're one of the top companies in the world. So I feel like there's no reason why they wouldn't be successful, since they're all under that one umbrella. And CGS was actually under the same umbrella at one point, and then I guess they, kind of branched off or did something else. So it's new, but it's not all that new, because under that umbrella, CGC was actually that card grading company, and pretty much this company is pretty much taking that spot. And they actually do. I know a lot of people look at HGA in the AI grading, but CSG, they do AI grading. Their slabs are really nice as far as the quality. Is more of a crystal clear slab, and they actually use something called what they use. They have a hologram. They have barcodes.
UV. Yep.
They also have a QR reader barcode, and they use UV ink, so it make it harder to actually replicate that. And they use ultrasonic welding, which makes the case impact resistant, which is really cool.
So, like I said, you just informed me. I mean, obviously, you probably have an in. You've got all those, comic book cards, the original hand-signed Batman stuff. So you've got an in there. I mean, how hard is it to get set up? I mean, I submit a lot of stuff to PSA, but like, say somebody's listening right now, how hard is it for them to go in, get an account set up, and actually get something shipped off and get it back? What kind of timeline are you looking at? What kind of cost do they have?
It's really easy. They have a membership program. The basic level is $25. Then I think it goes to $175. But this is for the whole entire year. As you go up in membership, you'll just get different discounts for other companies that's associated with them. But the $25 one would be strictly for the card grading, which is, if you're into cards, that's all you really need. And I actually sent off one card just to test it out, and I picked 5-day turnaround time, and I got it back. They graded it in 2 days.
Well, that, like you said, if it's a quick flip, I mean, I just looked on here. LeBron James just sold for $98,000. That is CSG graded. So,
yeah, what are you seeing as far as how they're comparing to the PSA and the Beckett on the sales, and what's been your experience with kind of trying to sell these cards with a new company?
I think it is pretty much going to be up to us as the collectors, and choosing the next company that we want to promote. Because let's be honest, like these company like don't make us, like we make them. So if we decide that this company is the next big thing, like that's what it's going to be. But I think the prices they're kind of they're really similar. The only thing that's a little different, they don't do like the like your 10 or 9. They actually use the BGS grading system where they have to have to have points. So I know you was talking about the LeBron. The LeBron CSG, like you said, sold for $98,000. The PSA 9 was $50,000. So that's $38,000 more right there. And the BGS 9.5 was $87,000. So as you can see, the 9.5 outsold the BGS 9.5, and it outsold the PSA 9. So the CSG actually got more categories they can go to. So after that 9.5, it goes to a 10 pristine, and then you can get a perfect 10.
Well, I would like a perfect Honus Wagner signed card. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Are they doing with the autographs, or are they doing the? I can't say authenticity on the air. I don't know why. Every time I try to say it in the podcast, I stumble all over my words. But do they authenticate the autographs as well on their slabs?
They do, and it's only $2. So if you have a card that has an autograph, you get that grade. It's only $2 extra. And if you want to get subgrades, it's going to be $10 extra.
So like I said, that's a lot more reasonable. And I think, like you said, if it's a short-term flip, this could be something. And then same thing long-term. I mean, who knows? Because everybody is dealing with the PSA fatigue. I mean, I'm extremely happy. I've got 121 cards sitting on my desk right now that, unfortunately, it's tax season. I own my own accounting firm, so I'm kind of busy. But I get more excited about selling $250 worth of Jordan last night than I do, making $2,000 on a tax return. So I'm excited to have my cards sitting here on the table right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the turnaround time looking like on just your standard order on that? Now you got me curious. I think you've sold me.
Yeah, right now they're really nailing down the turnaround times. Like I haven't seen any delays. I haven't heard about any delays in the card community as far as the people that send things off to them. I got a friend that actually sent something off before I did, and he got his card back, and he was just like, man, like they graded this thing, 2 days faster than I picked. And he got the email. They actually sent him a picture, a scan of it, so he can have a scan. He actually got his grades, so your grades before it come back to you, which is awesome if you want to take a sneak peek. But I think the overall prices are like, that's the amazing thing to me. Like, they have great quality slabs. I wasn't a huge fan of the green, but after really looking at the slab and looking at all the effort they put into making the label itself and making sure there was something that was secure, so there's not a lot of counterfeit going out there. Because some of these grading companies just have a basic, pretty label, but we can make those on a printer at home. And there's no holograms, there's no ink, anti-theft, details.
It makes it a lot more harder to duplicate. So I don't know, man. I think D-Roy's got he's got some homework to do now on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna send over some wrestling cards and some of my comic book cards, and I'm gonna see how it goes. I think I went from trolling you on the internet to like thinking that you've opened my eyes and you're gonna make me money now.
The only thing with they don't do Marvel comics and stuff cards right now. So you would have to. I know they do CGC. I believe they do some of the Pokemon cards, but they haven't opened it up for like wrestling cards or anything like that in their database yet. But
right when I'm sold, they pull the rug out from underneath the guy.
Yeah, give him a little time; they'll catch up with you. See, D-Roy, he's always ahead of the game. I mean, I don't know. You probably Derek is the wrestling guy. Like, if you're buying cards on eBay that are graded, and they're probably coming from D-Roy, he slings them every single day.
That's the goal.
Well, if that's the case, man, me and you gonna talk after this podcast, and I need you to put me on some low budget, underrated WWE cards because I need some of those in my collection, man.
And we can do it. We can do it, definitely.
He's selling these Rocky Maivia cards like, what, 2 years ago for $200, and now they're selling for 20 G's. So he was way ahead of it, but sold way too early.
Wow, you're talking about the it's a yellow card, right? You got the yellow border.
Yep. I got a few out of PSA right now. I'm trying to redeem myself, but I probably had 4 to 6 of them, and I thought I was printing money selling for $250.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's my I don't know if you call it home run or if you call it a strikeout. I felt pretty good at the time, but it turned out I should have waited a couple of years on that.
Hey, but that's always the case though. Like we're always going to be able to say that as collectors and and people that flip cards. Like there's always going to be that. Well, I made 500% back on my investment, and then boom, it like blows, and then you're like, man, I wish I still had like 2 of those cards. So you're always going to have that. Most important thing, man, did you make a profit off of it, right?
There you go. So you got any advice? We got listeners that listen all the time. Some people are big into reselling. Some people are just on the fence and, put the toe in the water. Or they're always putting out excuses of why they can't do it. You have any advice for those kind of people on why they should be selling online and how to get into it?
It starts off with just take time, do a little research, collect the things that you like to collect first. Like don't always have your ears open and always be willing to learn new things, but start by collecting the things that you really love. Like for me, I'll tell you this quick story. Like I was and I am a huge Kobe fan, and I only had like 10 of his cards in my possession. And it was because every time I was like, oh, well, I'll buy some Kobe cards later. I'll buy some later. I'm just going to collect these cards right here, and I didn't collect the things that I knew I should be collecting, right? So just don't get caught up in not collecting the things that you're really passionate about. Because at the end of the day, if you collect the things that you're passionate about and you like them, then 9 times out of 10, a lot of other people gonna like them too. So
that makes sense, man. That makes sense. So, Adam, so we appreciate you taking the time. You're giving our listeners a lot of good advice. A lot of good things, so we're pumped, man. I think we're gonna go do our homework. Do you know how we end the show, Adam?
How is that? How?
Well, we talk about this all the time. There's always 2 things in life that are for certain. You're always gonna have to pay taxes, and we're all gonna die. So that's the hint: death and taxes. But as a reseller, we all know the term death pile. It's basically your stack of stuff that you never get listed. So we always say in life that there's 2 things that are certain. And do you know what those 2 things are?
Death and taxes.
There you go, man. So there you go, man. Hey, appreciate you joining us. Give us your wisdom. So you can go out and check out his store at InvestNCards. Got some cool stuff up there, man.
Is that your Instagram too? That's your Instagram handle, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be the Instagram and also the eBay store. And one more thing too, I'm gonna kick out there, man, just because I want you guys to get on this this good bandwagon that that is definitely gonna probably take off in a little bit. If not, for everybody, at least for you and for us. The grading company actually, do you guys know about Dave and Adams?
I've been looking it up, but fill me in a little bit.
Well, Dave and Adams is one of the biggest collector firms out there, and they're doing submissions from CGS. So they're going to be they're actually kind of sponsoring them, if you want to call it that. So that was one of the biggest things for me right there. And also eBay, everybody knows PWCC, one of the biggest eBay stores out there. They're actually taking on their cards. That's where their LeBron sold at, of course. So they're not PWCC. They're not taking all grading companies. Like I think of course they do BGS, they do SGC, they do PSA, and now CSG. So a lot of the other new companies, they're not like recognizing them not taking their cards right now. Because I actually asked on customer service and they said it wasn't, but they were taking CSG. So, you know, I think that's pretty big for the future and, you know, for us as far as getting stuff graded.
That's the best part, man. That's what we do this podcast. We've done it for over 2 years. We can always timestamp, say, see, we said this. It was March 2021 here in 2 years when, you know, we're hanging out on the beach in Florida with the real Batman on the beach because we sold our LeBrons for hundreds of thousands. We can timestamp, say, see, we told you.
Definitely, man, definitely.
All right, Adam. Well, thanks for coming in, and thanks for hanging out with us with those technical issues. We appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you, guys.
You bet.